It's been a minute since I've been on YouTube, and however, I think that with the current situation that is taking place in the Gambia, you know, I felt that I post on my community page all the time. I try to keep the posts going there and things like that. However, there's a lot of things that's going on in Gambia that has been going on that we have seen over the last few years. And there was a recent death of of a lady there in the Gambia, and I can remember she first came into the Gambia, and her name is Veronica, and she was a individual who, when she first got to Gambia, she went out and she had her camera and she was going around to different Indian stores, and she was basically saying that they were selling food that they should not be selling. And that's how she, got her start out in the Gambia, by going around and making these videos. And then she continued to make videos, as did many other people that came into the Gambia. What what brings this subject matter to the forefront today is that she passed away a few weeks ago. And prior to her passing away, there was another lady, Miss Beverly Allen. Miss Beverly Allen, I would say, was a friend of mine. She was one of the people that came over early on, before we had the influx of people coming into the Gambia, and she actually stayed with me at my residence. She was very one of the very first people, and she actually came through the Blacksit organization. So I hosted many people before we had the influx of hundreds and hundreds of people coming into the Gambia. Miss Beverly, she passed away a few months ago, about 3 or 4 months ago. Time go by so fast. However, and then before Miss Beverly died, another these are people that we know about that has passed away. Another repat by the name of Audrey Davis, and she is someone that I came encounter with that I encountered through the art Kathy. So two people that came through our networks have passed away, and then in addition to a third person. When Audrey passed away, Audrey was such a good person. She actually, I've talked to many people. I've talked to thousands of people during my time with the Blacks organization, and then with our Kathy. Talked to thousands of people who were coming into the country, and that were looking to come into the country to be a part of a community. And this is the thing: when we first started out pre-COVID, we the idea was there that we would all come together, and we would build a community together, a community where we can be in close proximity to one another, and where we could watch each other's back. The idea was that we buy some land, we would make a gated community. We would have brothers doing the security around the community, to make sure that we were all safe and that we were all protected in this foreign land. Many people, hey Kiki, I see Kiki there. I see I can't pronounce the name. You Roma, peace family, peace people. And like I said, when I first went over to Gambia 8 years ago in 2015, and then I moved over there in 2018. I have a totally different perspective of the Gambia, a whole totally different perspective of the movement. I would never think that I would be sitting here talking about a pattern of repats dying in the Gambia under questionable circumstances. And what makes these circumstances questionable is that there are no autopsies performed in the Gambia. If you pass away, they usually bury you within 2 or 3 days without a real thorough investigation into the nature of the death. Okay. This is something that we have to look at and we have to understand going into a foreign market in a foreign country. You can literally get away with murder in the Gambia. You can, because they're not doing any autopsies. The sad thing is that all the promoters of the Gambia and all of these people out there that's promoting going into these African countries, they are not addressing these issues that should be at the forefront of our agenda. We want to know, is it safe to be going into these countries and to be repatriating into these countries? When Audrey passed away, there was some questions that came up as to, you know, the nature of her death. How did she die? We all want to know. How did she die? She's someone that's a part of our community. She's someone that's a repass. She's someone that came into the country. She's someone that came into the country and she purchased land. She invested in, certain assets and things there. You know, so if she was someone that was terminal, that was coming over, into the country, and she knew that she had a terminal illness, would she be making these type of investments? The same thing with Miss Beverly. Now, I do know that Miss Beverly did have some type of ailment. She did have an autoimmune ailment that she had and that she was dealing with, and I did know about that. Okay, but Miss Beverly, she invested. She brought land under Blacksit. She invested in Invest Relocate Africa, but we returned her money back to her once we started having the problem with the Blacksit organization and the Art Cathy organization. I know she invested in another gambling man, a Gambian man, with dealing with some sheep and things like that. She brought another property down there in tutoring, or down in that area, and she built a roundhouse there. Okay, she had a car there, and with Miss Beverly's situation, I've sat back and I witnessed a lot of people that came into the country. I told them personally, hey, listen, you need to be careful. Okay. I said, you need to be careful of what you're doing. However, people choose to do what it is that they want to do. And there was a situation where there was a gentleman that she met, a gentleman that was a part of the Black organization, and he was around and he'd be around and things like that. And Miss Beverly got into a situation where she wanted to buy land from this guy, and this guy ripped her off for thousands of dollars. It was kind of like a romance scam type of thing. And I'm talking to you about things that I know. Talking to you about things that I know. A lot of the sisters, they come over and they're looking for, you know, they're looking for guys, they're looking for men or husband or, a significant other, and they're falling victim to these romance scams. So that's what we've been seeing, and that's what we've been witnessing with the vast majority of people that's coming over. And Kiki, if you're watching, you can come in. You're free to come in. And I've always give props to Kiki in the work that she is doing and the work that she has done, starting with her whole Dusty Diva series when she came in and she exposed the individuals that caused the first disturbance in the Gambia. But since then, there's been a ripple effect all over the continent. There's been a ripple effect of, people coming over and causing a huge amount of problems for our community and people that are on the ground, people that were established, that were on the ground, that were doing great, and they were doing just fine before we had an influx of a bunch of people coming into the continent. We saw that. We saw that huge blow up, very ugly thing that was sponsored by so-called YouTube YouTuber Pan Africanists, people that were promoting, hey, come to the Gambia, come here for a better life, come here to escape the injustices in the West, come here to escape, police brutality, come here to escape the economic, constraints that we are experiencing in the West. Come over to Gambia. Come here and let's build together. Let's build in a unified manner as brothers and as sisters and as families. The same people that were promoting that were responsible for bringing into the movement. I saw it pop up here, Kiki. I'm gonna try to. I saw it pop up. It says add a guest here. I'm gonna get Kiki on because Kiki has done a lot of research into these issues that have been taking place. Waiting for a guest. Let me see. A lot of these issues that's been taking place, but I know Audrey personally. I know Miss Beverly personally. I didn't know the other lady. However, that's 3 dead repats in an 18-month period that we don't have any clue on as to the nature of their death. And I'm adding Kiki on now. Let's see. You two got a lot of little stuff going on. Let's see if that actually works. I try to click you in here. Okay, I mean you're in
Oh,
now.
wait a minute, y'all. I'm trying to figure out how to turn this camera off.
You two got a lot of little stuff. Okay, all right, cool.
Wait a minute.
Let's see if that actually works.
No.
I tried to click you in here.
I'm on, but I'm trying to figure out how to turn this camera off.
Okay. You want to go back? You want to go out or go back in? Your hearing
Yeah,
did. You want to jump on?
I can't figure this out. Hold
Okay,
on, y'all.
if just let it face to the ceiling. If you're not in your studio and things like that,
No, I'm
like
not.
I was,
Okay, good. We
I was
got to
gonna,
do this.
I was gonna jump on yesterday, but like I said, YouTube has become such a disgraceful and nasty place. I just try to really just stay away from YouTube, and I'll just stay on my community channel. And I mean, it is what it is. You know, from somebody that's been over in the Gambia, that's been living over in the Gambia, that's established over there. Trust me, there's no love in the repat community over there. That's very obvious.
And
There's no
that's the
love. There's no
unfortunate thing.
unity. What was that?
No. I said, and that's what makes it so unfortunate is that that's what most African Americans go to Africa to look for, for love and community and oneness. And then when we get there, you find out, oh, that's not what you're going to get, especially not from our own people. We're definitely not going to get that from them because they're just going to look for a way to take advantage of us.
And like I was sharing, I give you a lot of I hold you in high esteem, and you're really someone that really needs to be recognized for the work and your courage that you've done, coming out, pointing out the tremendous wrong that was done. And I always say, I'm one person, but we've had
Mm-hmm.
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that within our organization that were devastated. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
not even about money. It's not about the money, because we'll lose money and things like that. Only for a few people, it becomes, oh, I put up my $99. Now heads got to roll.
Yeah.
When there's people that lost tens of thousands of dollars, I put so much money in the Gambia that I've lost, but you'll never hear
Hmm.
me talking about it. Even in Ghana, I went to Ghana and I lost money. I'm not going to jump up here and say, I lost money and things like that. This guy did this, he scammed me and things like that. You know what I mean? Because we don't need that. We really don't
No,
need that.
but one thing I found about those people who were coming to the Gambia, these were not real investors. Real investors know that when you invest, you win some, you lose some. It's not you don't invest and then think, okay, if I'm not getting this money, I want my money back. The fact that they go into it thinking if I don't gain, I want my money back, that lets you know that they're not real investors and they don't understand investment. That was the first thing I noticed. They don't understand investment and they didn't understand the market they were investing in. See, like in the
Definitely.
United States, they wouldn't have been able to come over here and blow up, invest, relocate Africa like that. Our laws would have shut that down right away. They would have not been able to do what they did. But in Gambia, in Africa, it's easier. It's easier to go over there and do what you did because there's no regulations like we have here. You can't do those things. In Africa, you can do those things, but in the United States, you cannot. So
Well,
you go
well,
over there. Go ahead.
with the situation in Africa, it was like I said, the best time was the time pre-COVID time. And
Mm-hmm.
I swear, I mean, I was just on a high being in the Gambia, prior to the people that came in that caused all the disruption. We were having a grand old time, building, working, developing the Gambians, doing playing the role. And this is
Right.
before, if anybody, have been following me and been watching me. This is before Art Kathy. You understand what I'm saying? So you would see
Yeah.
Gambians around. You would see me training Gambians. That was all me. That was all my money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them helping and outsourcing and we, doing business and doing things for people in the States, so I was already supporting, at least 10 to 15 Gambians before we even got even with Blacksit. When I went
Mm-hmm.
with Blacksit, I brought a team of people over there to help get that thing rolling and get it off the ground. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was the best time. And then when I think the sad thing about it was that it would have never reached the height that it reached if it wasn't for the same people that I started working with, them working behind the scenes, bringing
Mm-hmm.
in agent provocateurs from other countries to orchestrate a campaign defamation. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
and that's what it was because it could, it would have never got that without the support of people who are already established there on the ground, using resources, using donation money, and a huge amount of time, a huge amount of energy to discredit, you know, uh, our business model, which was taking over in the Gambia. We our business model was, a community-based model, and people were buying into it, and people were investing in it, and it created a lot of jealousy and envy amongst the other
Mm-hmm.
YouTubers that were there on the ground who saw it saw that it was best or that they come together to dismantle what we're doing for their personal benefit.
Now
For
tell
their
me, now
personal
this is the
benefit.
part I think I agree with you on that part because this woman, the first lady Audrey, okay, and what I
Yeah.
was saying about the unfortunate thing about Audrey is that Audrey did not have a big social media footprint, so I really couldn't find out a lot of information about her, okay. but she was with Invest Relocate Africa, and I did find that she was stayed at Elvin's B&B. And when
Yeah.
she was there, she seemed to be safe. She seemed to be happy. She seemed
Hmm.
to be, really enjoying her repat journey. And it seemed like when she left, being in touch with Elvin's B&B, when she left there and just went out and to discover the Gambia on her own and got with Sisters International, this is when she runs into these problems. So it seems like this organization, because one thing I noticed about Invest Relocate Africa is when they blew your organization up, it was a lot of pop-up shops who were imitating Relocate Africa. And I would say Sisters International was one of those organizations. They kind of try to mimic what Invest Relocate Africa was doing, and that's helping people repatriate to the Gambia. But the difference is you guys are like, we're truly on ground looking out for people. When you get here, we're going to look out for you. You were picking people up. I seen how you went and got people from the airport. You had immigration people there to help them out. You had like a team of people in different departments and different areas that would help you when you needed something. I had one lady tell me that when she got to the Gambia, they were trying to scam her at some leasing department. They were
Yeah.
trying where you get your license from. She
Hmm.
said she didn't know anybody to call, but she called you. You didn't even know who she was, but she got in touch with you because none of the other YouTube people would even call her back. But she got in touch with you, and she said she told you how much they were trying to charge her. And you told her what to say, and you told her how much it was. Okay, now
Hmm.
this is what we need. We need safety nets like that. But for some reason, I don't know why these other organizations aren't saying the truth about that. They're making you think you can just come over here and you can just live, especially a single woman, especially a single woman. You cannot do that. You
I'll
cannot
tell
do
you this.
that.
I'll tell you this, right? We already know that in the U.S., our our major downfall is our disunity, us not working together and being together, right?
Yes.
So we go to a whole nother country where we don't know the terrain, we don't know the culture, we don't, and you know, put ourselves in a situation where we're by ourselves. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you see the number of people that have failed going over there already. You
Yes.
see the number of people that have
Yes.
failed before we started seeing a pattern of people pass away and die. You understand what I'm
Yes.
saying? And
You're right.
like
You're right. That's a good point.
mhm,
I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt you, but I need to
yeah,
make that point. We
mhm,
saw a number of people fail,
mhm,
lose everything they had, and have to go back to America with
yep,
nothing. We've seen a
yep,
number of people do that. Now,
mhm.
what the next phase of what are we seeing? People dying. That's what
You
we're
know what?
seeing now.
And when all of this stuff was happening, right? I was like, now we're really gonna get taken advantage of, and we're really
Yes.
gonna get exploited, right?
Yes.
Because they see that we're not together.
No, yes, exactly.
Okay,
And who in
so
Africa is not? Tell me what ethnic group in Africa is not together. Tell me what ethnic crazy. When I lived in Old Yodom this summer, I lived around Mandikas. There was Mandikas everywhere. Everywhere you looked, it was
yeah,
Mandikas. It
hmm,
was the Mandinka neighborhood, and they looked out for each other. Tell me where in Africa do ethnic groups live where they don't live together? Only the African
exactly.
American.
That's what we
Only
don't
the African
understand.
American. Yeah.
In Africa, people live on compounds. The only
Yeah.
people that might have a house and they live in a house by themselves are the people that traveled over to the US, travel over to Europe. They have money, they made money there, and they build a house. But the
Yep.
vast and then in that house, they'll have their family members there because they're from
Yes.
there. So they'll have five, six, seven, eight other people living in the house. You
Yes.
can't come to Africa and get in a house and live in the house by yourself. You and your
No,
wife,
you
or you
can't.
by yourself. You're the
No,
house
you
that
can't.
they're going to target and the house that they're going to break into. as we saw with the other repats that was there
Yes.
2
Yes.
years ago.
Yes, remember? Correction. I need to correct myself. First, it
Mhm.
was the robberies. Remember the robberies when they were just
Exactly.
breaking in the house, breaking in
Yep.
the house,
One of
breaking in the
one of my
houses?
one of my
Remember
accusers
that?
got her house breaking into.
Yeah.
The arrival got broken into 2
Yes.
times. You know, the
Yes.
Bag family got their house broken
Yes.
into. These
Yes.
are people that we know of. There's other stuff and other people
That we
that were
don't
getting
know.
robbed there that you guys just don't know about. And then the only thing that was going on YouTube was a bunch of nonsense and a bunch of garbage that was,
Yes.
taking
Yes.
the attention away from what we
From
should have
what was
been looking
really
at or
going
what
on.
we should have
Yes.
been addressing as a community.
Yes.
And now we're up here talking about when Miss Bear when Audrey passed away, we was like, hey, listen, what's up? You know what happened? Because I was just at Elvin's B&B with Audrey, and Audrey
Yes.
was fine. She didn't look sick. I talked to Audrey a bunch of times, and she never gave me any indication that she didn't have a whole life ahead of her to live
Yes.
in the Africa. You
But they
understand what I'm
want us to
saying?
believe, but they want us to believe, this business wants us to believe that she was just old and sick. That she was just old and sick. And that there's no need to ask for an autopsy. We're not asking for much. We're just asking for, like you said, if an American person passes away, we just want an autopsy by a company that the embassy works with, not just any doctor, but a
Right.
doctor that the embassy works with. That's all we're asking for. That's policy. So we'll
And
know
take this
what's going on.
in all transparency,
Yes.
At Elvin's. Yeah, please. I don't have any buns left. I don't matter. It don't matter. You want to toast it, the bread? Give it to me how you'll have it. I don't have no more mayonnaise. Okay, just give it to me how it is. I'll work it like that.
So let
Okay.
me tell y'all what crazy talking. These are the issues. These are the
That's my
questions that we
sister-in-law.
need to ask and we need answers to. And these are the
Yeah.
things we need to pay attention. But let me tell y'all something. Think about this. Even in the United States, y'all, we like to live with each other. We like to live with each other because we know it's safe with each other. And we know how we are. And that doesn't mean we like to live in the hood because I don't live in the hood. Okay. Believe it or not, there are black people who don't live in the hood. Okay, people? And we like living with each other. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that because we have a sense of community and we like that community because we understand our traditions, we understand our customs, and we're not going to hear all those complaints when you have to live with other people. Okay. And
Hmm.
there's nothing wrong with living with the community because, like I said, ethnic
Yeah.
groups like to live with ethnic groups.
You
And
know,
that's why I
you
don't
know,
understand why when we get to Africa, we can't live with each other. And
you know.
especially if you're single. If you are
Yes.
single, you cannot, if you have a husband and you married to a Gambian and you have Gambian family, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them people who over there by themselves, solo. You can't do Africa solo. And then you're estranged from your family. These women don't even be in touch with their kids. They over there
You know
by themselves.
this is what's taking place. People are coming over on sex tourism. People
Yes,
are falling victim
exactly.
to, they and I seen Mark Meets Africa, and I've been watching him, and I just slowly saw this mindset, of our people coming over here with a freaknik mentality,
Yes,
coming, overwhelming the people, the well-intentioned people,
yes,
overwhelming that movement. This
yes.
is not this is not something to come over where we're thinking, hey, we're gonna come over and it's gonna be a big party. You know what I mean? We're free now, and let's come over here and let's be promiscuous. Let's run around and let be individuals. Let's express our capitalistic aspirations that we couldn't express in the States. But let's go over now, and now that we here and we got a little YouTube following, okay, let's go ahead and try to make money off the other people that's coming behind
Yes,
us for our
yes,
own personal, to build our
yes,
own home, to build our own land, to do for,
Yes.
for ourselves. It's
Mm,
all about like I said, and look at the repercussions. Look at what we saw, when all of that nastiness was taking place, and like you said, there was a lot of little pop-up shops. They burned the business down, and then they're trying to set up the same type of business right across the street. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We
yeah,
saw that. We saw people try to do that, and we see them fail
yeah.
one after another, one after another, one after another, one after another. Our people are not conducive to a economic build, economic build. And what we saw before all the people came, it was like a glass house. Africa, for a
Yeah.
large part, was a place where we didn't see the ills that we see here amongst our community. We didn't see that over there until the crowd came. And then everybody was like, oh my God, it's crazy over there. Because what they were seeing prior to that, they were seeing people or somebody there that was already like myself. I was already a business person before I even
Mhm.
went to Africa. In Atlanta,
Mhm.
we had a house with, there was like, what we had about a 7-bedroom house with about 15 people living in a house. So I was already doing, we had a large organization in the States,
Oh, you shouldn't go.
and we had 13 restaurants. We were living communally. We were living like, so I already had a foundation in that. So when I went over there, I was like, okay, let me set myself up. Let me set things up. So when people come, they can have a brother that they can come to his house. You understand what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
didn't have to go somewhere and stay in a place where they didn't know, amongst people that they didn't know. They could come to my house, and in my personal house, I had about 15 people that came and stayed there before I said, "Oh hell no, ain't nobody else coming over into my personal house." You understand what I'm saying?
Wait a minute.
Before I
Yeah,
said
well, wait a
no,
minute. Look,
before I
Quasi, hold
started to
on. We
see
got
the
a
problem.
question. And you're
What's
going to
that?
have to ask you. We have a question, and you're going to have to answer this question. It
Okay.
says, who can Black Americans link with in Gambia as a communal family if they don't know anyone? So if they don't know anyone and they want to go to Gambia because they love Africa, and there's nothing wrong with that because I still love Africa in spite of everything, but they don't know anybody and he wants to know or she wants to know who can they hook up with and form a communal family since they don't know anyone there. Well, who do you recommend and what do you recommend they do?
Honestly, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know. But I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to come together and make that something that's possible. You understand what I
Yes,
mean?
because right now whoever they're going to take advantage of you. You're going to be paying for everything. You're going to, just
But this
be
what
and when
this
you're
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. You're gonna get a whole bunch of people that's gonna surround around you, and they're all gonna be scheming on you.
yes,
Okay. They're gonna get
yes,
around you, and I'm talking about the brothers and sisters in the Gambia too. It's because it's the
yes,
poverty mindset. You'll go there with the
yes,
intentions on trying to help, but we cannot help the way that we think we can help. Okay, the only way we can help is go in and adapt the culture. That means that you have to sit down
yes,
with the uncles, you have to sit down with the fathers. Like when I went there, when I first went to started going to Africa, I went and stayed in the village. I slept on the
mm-hmm,
floor. I had to go to, I had to lower myself
mm-hmm,
in order to put myself in the understanding of how the culture operates. But if
yes,
you go over there and you say, okay, I'm gonna get my wife now, I'm gonna buy her a car, I'm gonna give her money, I'm gonna buy her land. They're not used to that type of thing. They don't. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just getting my dinner. My sister-in-law hooking me up right quick. you know, so if you're going over there trying to do things like, you have to stick to the protocol of the culture. You understand what I'm saying? And that is how you will be protected and safe. My family always used to tell me, I always to tell them, bring me a plate by myself, okay? Because I wasn't gonna eat. I'm not used to eating with everybody because
Right.
I'll eat a little bit of my food. I'll save a little bit till later. You know what I mean? I'm used to eating
Hmm.
by myself, and they used to tell me, Quasi, don't do that. You supposed to
Yeah.
eat when everybody else eats, okay? And I'm
Yeah.
like, why? They said because somebody can put something in your food,
Hmm.
and
They'll
I'm like,
poison
I'm
you.
not. And and they always tell me they were like Quasi, they don't have guns over here, but they have other stuff.
Yes.
And I
That's what
always
they
be
told
like,
me in Cameroon. Yes.
and I always be
Hmm.
like, hey, I ain't worried about nothing. What could they do to me? I done been shot at. I done been shot. I've been around murderers and stuff like that. They was like, hey, listen, don't eat that damn food by yourself.
Yeah.
And now, you know, with all of this stuff coming up, I'm like, okay, maybe Miss Beverly was sick. Okay, she did have an illness, right?
Yeah.
But if Miss Beverly have an illness, we got to ask ourselves a question: why did she make such a big an investment over there by herself? You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? Why did she make such a big
Exactly.
investment by herself? Okay,
To give it to somebody else, who does that? Why not give
okay,
it to your family? Who does that?
okay,
Nobody, people. Huh.
okay.
Who in their right mind? And then she built houses. She bought land. She bought another land. And this is somebody who's about to die, y'all. This somebody who about to die, y'all. And she married to a bumpster, y'all. Come on. Just like that dude got the bumpster got all the Beverly stuff. I mean Audrey stuff. Come on, y'all.
Hey, listen, right now when all of that negative was happening, right? I was saying somebody's gonna get killed over here. We- Because I'm telling you, like what I went through over there, and I just knew it was just the devil using these people. You had all of these. You had the main YouTubers that should have been trying to create some type of peace within the Gambia. You had them promoting negative,
Mm-hmm.
promoting people that were destroying the collective spirit of the repatriation movement
Yeah.
blatantly.
Black Acres
Blatantly.
of the Gambia, Black Acres of the Gambia. And I showed you all the messages in my video where Cynthia was all in the group instigating, instigating. Instead of saying, we got to stop this, y'all, we got to come together as a people, she was saying, wait till I see Crazy Boy. I'm a dude. Y'all know how she talked. Making all them, selling all them Cynthia Wolf tickets. She gonna do this, she gonna do that. This is
These
what she
people,
telling them,
listen, they brought the
instigating.
police to my house, between Rick and Cynthia and Juliet Ryan. These people, uh, uh, I mean, we can't, I mean, anybody looking at those individuals as leaders,
Leaders.
then it's your fault. You understand what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
really your fault. But our people buy into all of this commercialism. I mean, Juliet. I mean, all of this stuff has been revealed. All of it has been exposed. And look where we are now today. We're sitting here talking about a suspicious pattern of deaths amongst repats. Now, with let's say, okay, Beverly was sick and she passed away. Okay,
Yeah.
how about Audrey? Okay,
Exactly.
how
And I
about this
believe
new
they said
person?
Audrey had an asthma attack. I believe Sisters International said Audrey, or somebody said she had an asthma attack. The same thing they said about Beverly. While they're in a private group talking about there's herbs and roots they can give you in the Gambia to make it look like you had an asthma attack. Well, damn, how you know that? How you know that? Me and my friends and family don't sit around and talk about stuff like that unless they warning me about people who use those kind of things.
Well,
So how they
well,
know that?
this is what we know for sure is that there is no There's no support system.
No.
A support system means that you have the basic necessities being provided for
Yes.
you as far as food,
Yes.
clothing, and shelter.
Right.
When those Indians come over there, they have a support system:
Right.
food, clothing, and shelter.
They do. They
When those
do.
Chinese come over there, they have a support system: food, clothing, and
And they
shelter.
probably even give them little jobs
The
so
letter,
they can
yeah,
make
because
some
they
money.
bring, listen, they bring their people in there to work the business. They have places for them to stay.
Yes.
They have compounds with 3 or 4 houses on it, massive houses. You understand what I'm
Yes.
saying? They're not coming out there just going for self, especially not
Yes.
their women. Their women not coming out there
No,
going for
they
self.
really not.
The
No,
women are
they're
with the
really
men.
not. Yes. Exactly.
The women are with the men.
Exactly.
They have a game plan. They
Yes.
about building families. They're not about their, like the dusty divas. They're going out there and just running around with all types of different characters and things like that, and having these alpha male personalities, and getting into fights and
Yes.
just ruining everything because they
Yes.
made bad decisions. You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying? They made their own bad
Exactly.
decision. Now they want they want to ruin everything for everybody else.
Yes. And that's
Ruin everything
exactly
for everybody
what's
else.
going on. Now they got
Mhm.
all these women, single women, coming over there thinking that's the single woman spot. And it is not.
Mhm.
Not if you coming over there to kick it. Not if you coming over there to kick it. You are gonna get hurt. You are going to get hurt. Even if you're not coming over there to kick it and you don't know really understand Africa like that, you're going to get hurt. I wouldn't. I mean, I never went to a country, and I've been to Africa 12 times. I've never went to a country, Cameroon, Nigeria, or Gambia, and didn't know somebody. I never went there and didn't know somebody. I never went there and didn't have somebody that was from that country meet me at the airport where they can take me around, where they can protect me, where they could talk for me, where they can negotiate for me when the police want to stop you and harass you, but you can't even speak the language. And even if it's English, Nigeria is an English speaking nation, but they do not speak North American English, people. We don't speak British English. We speak North American English. And most people in Africa don't understand a word that we're saying. So I don't know how you go to Africa, and I've been 12 times. Got several degrees on African history and culture. And I would never do that because that is not safe, people. I would never sleep in a house in Africa alone by myself. A single woman? Never, never. But y'all over there sleeping in houses by yourselves, living by yourselves, like we in the United States. And then when something happened, you want to cover it up instead of tell us we can't live like we live in America and Africa. We cannot do that, y'all. We're gonna get hurt if we do that.
It's very
That's
poor
just
over there.
crazy.
And
Say it
you
again.
know, there's it's very poor over there. Like a lot of the young guys, they're out. They're hanging out all day. They
Hmm.
know when an American moves in somewhere, you know, and if you leave out of your compound, they're gonna go into your house before they go into anybody else's house.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
because first of all, like most of the people there don't have nothing. You know
No,
what I mean?
they don't.
So
No, they don't.
they're targeting the Gambians that are that live in the West,
Yep.
that have homes there, that might
Hmm.
accumulate some stuff in their house, and then especially the repats that are coming over there, and they're in a bunch of confusion. You understand what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
the safest thing for us to do is to build communities, and we
Communities.
all
Yeah.
buy. If you're not married to a Gambian, right? If you're married to a
Yeah.
Gambian and then you buy a house and you buy some land and you're married to a Gambian and then, you know, that's a little bit different from, you coming there and you building a house, or you moving into a property
Mm-hmm.
by yourself. We've already seen, most of the people, even Juliet got robbed. Juliet and
Mm-hmm.
Adrian got robbed. Black Acres got robbed. The Arrival got robbed. One of my accusers got robbed. I never mentioned their name. They don't,
No,
I'm
because
never
they
ever
worthless.
mention their name.
Yeah,
You
they
understand what I'm saying?
worthless. There's no names worth mentioning.
Right,
Those are
right. All
nameless,
of
worthless beings.
all of these parasites. But guess who
Yeah.
never got robbed? I never got robbed in the Gambia. Nobody ever robbed my house, because
Really?
my house, we've always been deep in my house. Somebody's
Yeah,
there
they
all the
are.
time.
Yeah, they are,
Even
y'all. Yeah.
even
Uh-huh.
here, even here in the States, when we had our organization, even our businesses, we had brothers stay the night inside the businesses. In our restaurant,
Yeah.
we had overnight
Yeah.
security. Okay, we had
Yeah.
one or two brothers staying in the restaurant overnight. 5 o'clock in the morning, we bake our bread and things like that. 24 hours. All of our homes, somebody was in the house 24 hours because we lived
Yeah.
together, and
Yes.
that's our culture.
Yeah.
That's the way things are supposed to be. We're not supposed to be these single parent. Our women
No.
single mothers,
No.
and you got the child, and and things aren't working out. We've been corrupted to a point where we're seeing the extermination of our people here in America. And most people that are driving towards Africa and looking to go to Africa know that and see that, seeing that we're being replaced here by the Mexicans, and our communities are
Hmm.
dying out.
Okay, look, we got another one. Black American television news and information. Well, hello. We must build, period. Too
Hmm.
much talking here.
How you
In
doing, Trina?
America, and not enough building. Single women get hurt in America. That's true. But, sir, the thing why we're talking about Africa is because there has been a lot of women, middle-aged women, who are taking their retirement and retiring to Africa.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's why we're talking about that. We're not saying that we don't need to build in America, because you're absolutely right. We're not saying that, women don't get hurt in America. We're not saying that. But what we're saying is, we got people looking out for us in America. Trust me. We got this. But in Africa, we don't got that, sir. So they're over there we're just dropping like flies. Like one woman said on my channel, they throwing us away like trash. Like throwing black women away like trash. And I
Mm.
can't just stand as a black woman. A black woman. I came from black women. I cannot, sir. My being will not let me stand idly by and see three women pass away in a place that I go to regularly. Regularly. And I don't say anything and I don't do anything. No, sir.
Hey, listen,
No, sir.
I want everybody to put on their thinking cap. Okay,
Yeah.
put in your thinking cap. A lot of these African countries are known for romance scams.
Mhm.
Okay, where either they're online, they get with these women from the States, they have these relationships going on with them, only to get their money.
Yeah.
All right, romance scams. So, what do you think is going to happen once you pull up into a country, right? That's known for exploitation
Yeah.
of the women, right? Of
Yeah.
diaspora women. When you pull up in the country and you get with these guys, especially when there's an age gap,
Yeah.
right? Like these older women, they get with these younger guys, and the younger guys only getting with them because of the money and the prospect of going to the
Exactly.
U.S.
Yes.
Once they marry you, they really don't have a need for you.
No, it's over.
All
That's
right.
the prize. They
They
got the
really
cash cow.
think about it. Once they marry you and they got, you done brought land, you try to pay them, right? Pay for their love, pay for their affection, buy them a car, buy them land, buy a house, right? give them access to your money. You might have moved all your money over there and it's in the bank, right? If you pass away and he go down to that bank and say, hey, my wife passed away, guess what? He got that money.
Yeah.
You got your pension going over there to a bank account or something like that. I mean, come on. That's not hard to piece together when we're falling into the same, into a trap, when we're falling into these traps. Now, let's say, if we had a community, all right, and now we're in a community where we're all together, even if you have a situation where you married, a Gambian brother or whatever, a sister or whatever, we're close enough to know what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to think twice before they try to do something to you because we checking on you every day or every week.
Exactly.
You're not somewhere way off in the bush or you somewhere, off the grid.
Yes.
We don't know who you are, where you are, what you doing.
Exactly.
You're going to be taken advantage of. This planet is not a heaven. It's mostly a damn hell for us. Globally.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? Do not think you're going into a country and people are just naive and things like they used to tell me, and I used to be naive. They used to tell me all the time, well, there ain't no guns here, but we got other stuff here. And like I was sharing with you, Kiki, I bet you if there's an investigation done, there's always more than what meets the eye.
Yes. Yes. Especially in Veronica's case, because that house was broken into. That house was broken into. The door was open and the house showed signs of a break-in. And Veronica was laying in there, passed away. But they come, the people in the Gambia, who ain't even our people, they're not even from here. So what do they care about us? They don't care about us. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. It ain't too many people walking and talking that love African Americans besides African Americans. And I'm just telling y'all the honest to God truth. A lot of people can't stand us. They can't stand us. And they want to see the worst thing that could happen to us. And they want to sit back and laugh at us. Because you know why? Because they see us as their biggest
listen to Kiki.
threat.
Listen to what she's saying.
They see us as their biggest threat. And that's real talk. I studied our history. I know, people. I know. I know.
And
why do you think they've always been out to get rid of the African American? Why do you think they've always tried to get rid of the African American? Because you tell me one group who came from another continent that was with prisoners of war went over to another continent, and not only did we live and thrive, we were freed in that country. We became citizens of that country. We have rights in this country. And one thing you better not do is talk about an African American, because guess what? The law is going to come down on you. So tell me another group that has done that, because I don't know any. I don't know any besides the African American. So, and who, when we think of America, when you see America, who's America's heroes? Who's America's superstars? Who's America's greatest athletes? Who's America's greatest singers? Who's America's greatest actors? You would think America was black. And y'all really think everybody got love for us? I'm sorry, y'all.
And there's only a few of us that are truly humble enough to be recognized as, I would say, equal. Okay. Most of the people that are coming from the West over there, they have the white man mentality and they look down on the natives, and that affect the good ones.
That's
because
another,
it's not many of us.
That's
most
true.
Of the ones coming over there,
like,
most of the people that are coming over, the YouTubers, The main YouTubers, I've sat there and watched, and I've heard out of their mouth, the ones that I work with speak down on Gambians,
Yes.
you know, and look down on Gambians and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And they have no empathy. I mean, it, it, uh, we're a very sick people,
Yes.
very sick people, and I couldn't fathom. I'm like, why? I would never think the type of mentality that we've seen in Gambia, that's over in Gambia, would come there. Why would you come way over here? We're trying to do something different,
Well, because
you
sick
know?
people are attracting them. That's what you and Art. After Art, I swear, I truly believe Art had a breakdown because I
Yeah,
know when you be in Africa too long, it's gonna break you down. Those
yeah,
lights not being on, that heat, that no
uh-huh,
food to eat, it's no electricity. I mean, it's no air. It's too much. And
yeah,
after a while, you will. I'm telling y'all. And when you used to being living in the United States, and you just and Art just went over there, you
yeah.
will snap. You will have a break with reality, and you will become like that. You will become cynical. That's why I don't stay in Africa more than 30 days because y'all know what? I become cynical and I start complaining about everything. I start talking about everything, and I realize that about myself. So I'm like, oh no, I can't stay over here like this. I got to get up out of here real quick. I
See,
can't take that for too long. And
hey,
see,
hey,
that's
hey,
what
hey,
happened
Kiki,
to her.
hey, Kiki.
Yeah.
I'm a logistical person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in my properties, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have you have to have solar power. You
Yeah.
cannot go there and be in a place that do not have solar power.
No, you can't. Not an
You,
American. Not an
you have
American.
to
I'm
have
sorry. Maybe some of them can, but not this American.
no,
Yeah, I
no, no.
can't.
I mean, you know, you have to have more than one internet. The internet will get so bad that it will break you down, especially if
Yeah.
you're trying to do business. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they are.
they're actually building the power, the
Mhm.
grid, and everything. Everything is going to get stronger in
Yeah.
Africa,
Yeah.
because they're building a dam, so it's going to be power and things
Yeah.
like that. So things are developing, but
Hmm.
still, you can get up and go to take a bath, and the water's not coming out.
Yes. And
See, I
everything will
love to
be
take a
so
bath.
nice
I
looking.
I love to take a hot bath. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
Yes.
in order for that to happen for me some days, I had to have people going to get buckets of water, warming it up on the stove, because
Yes.
I was not going to take a cold
No.
shower out of a bucket.
No.
Before I do that, we're gonna get. I need y'all to bring me fill this. I'm gonna take a hot bath, but you might need two, one or two people to help facilitate that. The
You
cash
do.
power going out, you need a small army, like a small utility company in your house. You understand what I'm saying?
You do.
You
Y'all,
need like a
that's
small
real.
utility.
That's real. You do. Yeah, and I'm telling you, I can remember sitting with a kettle. I'm warming my water with a kettle, okay, and pouring
uh-huh.
it in the bucket because
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing that. I'm taking me a hot bath. I don't know. I can't not do that. And everybody
And then
looking at me like, okay, we gonna make this happen for you, and it does. Now,
and,
this
and then
one, the guy asked about smart cities. He heard they were building smart cities in the Gambia, and he wanted to know, is that true? Yes,
well,
they are.
that's
Quasi,
Trina.
you could probably talk more about
That's
that.
Trina. She's a long time associate friend for about 8 years, man. I mean, and it's crazy because there's a lot of us that's been watching the movement. I can remember before I first went over there, I was watching it, 2013, 2012, before I went in 2015. And it's not, like I said, the movement got slowed up when all of the people on the YouTube, man, started to promote just negative, you know what I mean? And it's like,
Hmm.
you know, like uh like these big YouTubers, the YouTubers that was out around that time, and they wanted to promote, like, go black to Africa. He was the first one that well, outside of the other guy from the UK, I won't mention his name because every time I pop up, he pop up like a damn monkey on my damn back. You understand what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
however, the
Okay.
willingness to support or to promote the negative, you understand what I'm saying? Instead of, hey, listen, we need to shun this type of thing, and people always gonna sell us out for money. And it could be a little bit, and it don't even have to be money. It could be, for their own self-interest. You understand what I'm saying?
It is.
And
Yeah, you're right. Hmm.
so, it's really, about building, building an organization that is that focuses on a few people, a few, builders, and focusing on youth. It could be
Hmm.
continental youth, or it could be youth from diaspora. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? However, coming together as a community, we already say, and it's happening. I know in Ghana, you know, the brothers got, I know Bomani has a community and things, he's been doing it for a long, long time. So I know he has a
Hmm.
community over there, so it is possible, it is possible, but we could be doing a lot more. We could
Okay.
be doing a
Wait a
lot
minute. We
more
got.
could have been done. We need accountability. We need accountability.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know there's professional people watching, some
Mhm.
lawyers, some people that some judges, or just we have to really have courage to stand up for right, like you have done. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like you have
Mhm.
done throughout this whole process. You understand? Many of our people, we just ignorant, and we want to chase behind other people. We want to clout chase. We want to be featured on, somebody's channel. We think
Yeah.
we, by gaining some type of favor with them, we're gonna get some type of some type of donations or some type of support from people. That's not a business model. And if you go and look at my videos, I've been saying that for the past two and a half, 3 years. Coming over, trying to
Exactly.
get a YouTube channel like everybody tried to do. No, everybody can't do that. You understand what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
ones that do have YouTube channels have a responsibility, and that is to
Exactly.
allow for our creative energies and our creative talents to have a place. You understand what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yes.
But we can't expect that. We can't expect that to happen. So, those who are builders, we have to do that ourselves.
Well, Black American Television, he had a question before this
Oh,
question,
that's Trina.
and he
That's Trina.
said,
She's a female. That's Trina.
"Oh, hey
That's
Trina,
Trina.
I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Yep.
Okay, Trina.
And what
Trina
she
had a
was sharing
question.
earlier, is that we have to get out of America. She wasn't saying we need to build. She was like, America, we have to get out. And
Oh,
she's
okay.
been on that. She's on the same wavelength, and we definitely have to do. We definitely have to do that. But we need to build a place. We
Smartly.
need to build
Yeah.
in communities. I
Okay.
don't care
No,
if we got a building. If we got a building, and we collectively had that as a
we just got to
residence.
do it. She's right. We got the money. Trina, Miss Ma'am. Okay, let me answer your first question. So she said she saw people in who go to Africa and start businesses who are doing well. But Ma'am, you don't know. They're telling you they're doing well. But how do you know if that's true? These people come on YouTube, just like this series I've been doing on Veronica. They come on YouTube and they tell you one thing, but the reality is totally different. So that business, what are they selling and how is it doing well? So you can't just go by what they say. So the second question, I mean, well, this is like a response to your statement. What you said about all that money. We have a lot of money, people. We have a lot of money. If we put that money together and build a community, we can do it. We can build a really nice community. And it's not separate, but it's just like it's to protect us. It's for safety. It's just for safety. It's just like everybody else do when they go to foreign countries. But for some reason, we don't trust each other when we get to a foreign country, and we trust the people we don't know. The people we don't know nothing about, and all they know about us is we got dollars. That's it. That's it. So she's absolutely right. We have the money. We just need to do it. We just
Like
need
she
to
was saying,
settle down and do it.
$1.6 trillion.
Yeah.
2020, we're expected to spend $1.8 trillion, and our household worth, our household value decreased by 14%. Okay. We are dedicated consumers, and that's not going to change. That's not going to change. That's why many of us getting out this country. Nothing's going to change here. It's not going to
Mm-mm.
be a turnaround for Black people if you're not thinking about building sustainable communities here and getting prepared. You know, I was just speaking to a friend of mine the other day, and I just turned 50 years old this year. And when I was 18, 17 years old, there was this Black Panther brother. He
Mm-hmm.
he would come around, and he was saying at the time, he was like, "Yeah, you guys got to look up the Trilateral Committee on Foreign Relations and the New World
Mm-hmm.
Order, and there's going to come a time where people won't be using money; they'll be using a debit credit card system."
Yeah.
This was before people had credit
Remember when they
cards.
was telling
Nobody
us
I
about
knew had a credit
UPC
card.
codes? Yeah, remember
Huh?
when they was telling us about UPC codes? It's gonna
Yep.
be a code, and you gonna they ain't bringing. It's gonna be the code they scan. Yeah, we was little, and they was telling
Listen,
us all of this, and I
listen.
was like, "What?"
And this is what he also said that he was saying, right? When I was like 17, 18 years old, I was starting to get into like the One World Order book, the New World Order,
Uh-huh.
Behold the Pale Horse, that was written by the British CIA agent. I forget his name.
Mm-hmm.
They had since assassinated him and killed him. But he was also saying, cameras are going to be everywhere,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
We talking about 32 years ago.
Yep.
We had pay phones. A camera was so big it needed a car battery to charge it up. You understand what I'm saying? Back then.
Yep.
Now he was saying cameras going to be everywhere. Now they're everywhere. We're on a
Yes.
camera right now.
Yes.
Now, not only do we have cameras everywhere on the highways, on the streets, inside, all the public places,
Yep.
we're on cameras every single day. Everybody's on their phone. Now, you can have your fingerprint and your face as your password on your
Yep.
device.
Yes.
We were
Yes.
talking, but the scary part about this whole thing is the collapse of the dollar, and we're seeing all of that. If you don't study and you don't know nothing, and you're in the matrix, and you just was on a path of trying to make it within this system, and you haven't been looking at alternatives, of course you're going to just be oblivious, and you're going to be a part of the problem unknowingly. And we're just going to see our generations dwindle away. Many of these cities, and I'm pretty sure anybody that's watching this can bear witness that the city that you came from, if you move to a bigger metropolis or wherever you're living at, it's not like it was 30 years ago. It was a
No.
lot more people floating around on those streets.
And it was a lot nicer. It
We
was a
seen
lot
20 years of
nicer.
war on our streets.
Yep.
We seen 20 years of war on our streets. I can
Yep.
remember when I was, 17, 18. Some nights you can smell the gunpowder in the air. You can
Yep.
hear gunshots this side of
You can
town,
hear,
gunshots
yep,
that
you
side of town,
sure
gunshots
would.
down the street.
Yep.
That's a war
Laying down in
zone.
the bed. That's what you would hear. Yep.
That's a war zone we've been in for the past 20 years. Now you walking through the community, it's changed now. It's less Black
Mm-hmm.
people and it's more Hispanic people. We're seeing Indian people, you know what I mean, in our communities, and owning the communities, especially the Mexicans. They just came in and they just, took over. Took
But this
over.
country, but you know what? Half of this country belonged to them, and the
Definitely.
southern part of the United States used to be. And let me give y'all a quick history lesson about that. The Mexican people were so nice to the Americans, okay, when we were growing, and they said, "Yeah, y'all can come live in Texas and New Mexico and California. Yes, American people, you can come here and live. We don't have a problem with that." But guess what we did once we got there, y'all? We said, "Oh, Mexican people, this is ours now. This
Yeah.
belongs to America. You ain't getting this back. And as a matter of fact, we want y'all out." And we took it. and we took it. So the Mexican people, the Central American, Latin American people, they're just basically going back to what was rightfully theirs in the first place. Just like African American people are going back to Africa, which was rightfully ours in the first place. Every African American has a right to West Africa because that's where we came from. That's where our DNA comes from, and we have a right there. And people are naturally going back to where they came from. And that's what West African traditional religion says. Everything that happened in the past, it will happen again. We're just going home and we don't even realize it. Our ancestors, just like the Latin American ancestors are leading them back to their land, our ancestors are leading us back to our land. They're leading us back to our land. So just
And you know
follow
what?
wherever your heart goes.
And it's not for everybody. However, we must look at what must be done at this time, being that we saw so much disruption, and then we're having people die, and they're not getting the medical treatment that they need.
Yeah,
They're not
no.
getting they're not doing autopsies. I was just talking to one of my family members back there, and they was like, they don't do autopsies here in Gambia.
Mm. They don't. They feel like that's a desecration of the body. In all of West Africa, they don't feel
Yes,
like they think that's disrespecting the body. They still believe that you can't cut the body up or deface the body in any kind of way because when it goes back to heaven, God won't. He won't accept it because he won't recognize the body because you messed it up. So they don't do autopsies. And I think what we really need, we have to organize anywhere if you look throughout our history, nothing is going to happen or be done till we organize as a people, till we come together as a community. Like I said, even in Africa, West Africa, they move as ethnic groups. They don't move as individuals. The Mandinka move as the Mandinka. The Wolof move as the Wolof. The Fula moves as the Fula.
right.
They don't go on off. I'm by myself. I don't have nothing to do with them. They don't do that because they know what affects one of them affects all of them. And until we take that stand that these three deaths, they're not just affecting three people, they're affecting all of us. And until we take that stance, this will continue to happen. And single women will continue to not be safe in West Africa. I shouldn't say West Africa. Well, yeah, I can say that because that's happening in Nigeria. It's happening in Ghana. It's happening and even one of them passed away in the Ivory Coast. And these are the ones that we know about, people. I know about. What about the ones that we don't know? I'm sure there's many more that I don't even know about. I'm just
Of
one
course,
person. So
of
what about
course.
all them women? And I look, y'all, there's a database where you're supposed to report when foreign people die in different countries. I looked for Gambia. There's no reporting. There's like one, and it's from like maybe 10 years ago, and this person drowned. There's none.
You
Beverly's not on
understand?
there.
See,
Audrey's not on there.
uh-huh. That yo, that
Veronica's not on there. It's none. Now, y'all tell me what's really going on. Until we organize, this will continue. This will
yep.
continue.
Hmm.
This will continue until we demand you're not doing this to us. First of all, we got a right to be in West Africa. We got a blood right to be there. Just no, I ain't gonna say their name, but just like other groups
Hmm.
have a blood right to be in certain countries, we got a blood right to be in West Africa, and we need to stand on that. And not only do we got a blood right to be there, we got a blood right to be safe when we go there. And if we pass away, all we want to ask for is that there's a policy that says you do an autopsy with somebody connected to the Gambia, one of them doctors, not the Gambia, the embassy, one of the embassy doctors do, because I know that when Americans who work at the embassy, honey, they got their own doctors and they do autopsies on them. The embassy
Hmm.
people, they have their own everything. So that's all we want is that embassy autopsy person do it on our people. And like I said, if we serious about moving back to Africa, then we need to organize as in a community. Until then, this is only going to be talk. You're going to see people running back. You're going to see people passing away. You're going to see people being robbed. You're going to continue to see what you see. Kiki loves Nigeria and Goldheart Gambia. These African countries, you have to have somebody on the other side waiting for you that will swim through shark infested waters to bring you a glass of ice water. Curly, stay ready. You are silly. But girl, you know how it is. Don't act like you don't know. Because I know in Nigeria, when you go there and when you want something, you know what it's like. And when you can't get it, very important. Otherwise, trouble. Good evening. Uh, Quasi, this is one of my friends. This is one of my friends. And
Hey, how you doing,
she
man?
goes to Nigeria. She's been there like 6, 7 times.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of information on Eastern Nigeria, which
Hmm.
people don't, African American women don't usually go, outside of Lagos. But she's
Yeah.
been to Eastern Nigeria. So she knows a lot. And I'm still waiting for her to come on my show and tell us about Eastern Nigeria. But yeah. So tell us, Curly, stay ready. Do you think it's safe for women to be in Nigeria single and alone? You tell us. You go there all the time. You've been more than me, ma'am. Tell us, do you think is it safe to go to Nigeria? I say no, that's a no go. You don't go to Africa by yourself. Never ever. Never ever. Smart cities, dangerous. I see a few African countries engaged in pursuing it. Why you say they dangerous?
Yeah.
Why is a smart city? Why you say that, Quasi? Why is a smart city
Well, let's
dangerous?
ask them. More fortune. Why would a smart city be dangerous? You know, a smart city is us coming together. Like I said, just imagine if we had a protocol, okay, where
Sure.
when we buy land collectively, and this is what we were doing with Art Kathy. We were in the process. When I left the first organization, there was a lot of land selling without the land being properly vetted, right? And it,
Yeah.
so we had, I mean, so many people brought land. It's just bad.
Wait a minute. So Curly Stay Ready said, absolutely not. Nigeria can be one of the most dangerous countries if you're not careful. And that is no lie. That is no lie. If you ain't got somebody ready to fight and die for you and to look out for you, you better not dare go to Nigeria because you may not make it back. Now, More Fortune says, me personally, I don't, black women should travel and we don't, but what if, More Fortune, what if we don't want to, I don't want to travel to Western countries. I personally like Africa. I think it's beautiful. I like nature. I like to commune with nature.
Yo,
So, I
the
like the nature in Africa.
Western countries have seen their zenith. You know what I mean? The promise, the American dream, which was the greatest promise amongst Western civilization, it's no that's a done deal. You know, the
Yeah.
economy and the dollar, all of that stuff it's not like it used to be in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. Even in the
And,
60s, there was a little bit of promise. But in the 70s, when once they brought that chemical warfare in, that heroin, man,
yeah.
now they got fentanyl. I was just at an event where we go out and speak to the high school athletic departments, the basketball players, the football players, the volleyball players, and talking about this fentanyl and how 125 people are dying every day from fentanyl.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, we used to be like, oh, they used to call them, base
Yeah.
heads. You know what I mean? The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Now you do some damn drugs, your ass gonna be the laying down dead.
Look,
You
More
understand what I'm
Fortune
saying?
said the
You're
black
gonna be the
women should
laying down.
travel in groups. Traveling alone in Africa, black women are preyed upon. I told y'all, yeah, it's true. Yeah, you're going to be preyed upon. You are the prey, honey.
You
You
know,
are the prey.
and like I said, a lot of these countries are known for romance scam, let
Yeah,
alone scamming anyway.
yeah. And the
That's all they
government
have to do
warn
is
you of
try
that.
to get over, just like the people in our community here, always looking for something and always trying to look for a way to get over and trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we're not working. The Mexicans not doing that. They're putting their money together. They're working.
They sure are. Honey, they build houses together. They build, and you know who else do that here in my community? It's Turkish and Russian people. They are couples. Somehow they marry each other and they live together in big, huge houses, and they build big, huge houses because they put all their money together. Quasi, will you extend your hand to Black Americans as a communal family? Quasi, they're asking you a question.
I heard them.
But you know what? I'm gonna give you my opinion of that.
Hmm.
Quasi never met me in real life. He only met me on YouTube. Okay. And he didn't meet me till like a while after I was doing the stories. And this man did open his home to me. He opened his home to me from when he found out I was there. He came to where I was at. He came
Yep.
to meet me. Then after that, whenever I wanted to go places, he would go with me. Then we would go to. He took every time we would go out, we would always go back to his house.
Or
And
listen, all you have to do is look at my channel. I'm that guy. I'm
yeah,
the one there that everybody was coming over to my
yeah,
house. I told you I was the landing pad, initially before all of these wicked and corrupt people started
yes,
coming.
yeah.
You understand
Because
what I'm saying?
I would say
And,
he was that type of person. I would
yeah.
say he is because when I was there, that's who I would reach out to. And even now, when I have questions about Gambia, ooh, y'all can see me. Ooh, I'm sorry.
Mhm. Yeah, it would.
Even now, go
Well,
ahead, Crazy.
what we're doing now is we're doing things differently. You can't trust everybody.
No,
You can't deal with our people, in that type of way because we're quick to be motivated by jealousy, envy,
listen,
greed,
listen,
hate, and envy.
listen, listen to what Miss Millie said. My Mexican neighbors bought a house and turned the basement into an in-law setup. Three families live in that house. I'm telling y'all, that's how they do it. And they're gonna save their money, and build their credit. And then they're gonna open up a business. Watch. Watch what they do.
Okay,
And
Jack.
then what this Jacque says, I would do that and going to do that. I'm still in the US, but just got my wells in. My land is so big that I can help build a community. Okay.
This is what I would do. Okay, and this is something that I contemplated for a long time. Build a community and with only 20% diasporan and 80% native. Okay, and have that a situation where the diasporans are married into the culture. 70% of the community have to be empowering the natives that are there on the ground. You don't want a community where it's 70. It won't even happen if it's 70% people from the West. You understand what I'm saying? Um, the large majority have to be of natives there, but I definitely encourage if you have some, you have to have a thorough vetting process. Make sure you
Yeah.
have
You
attorneys
can't just let everybody in
early
there.
on. Make
Hmm.
sure you have attorneys. As soon as someone start acting up, you make sure your lawyers are on their behind. You understand what I'm saying? We've seen far too many mental health cases
Yeah.
come and destroy things. From the YouTubers all the way down to the repats that were
Yeah.
coming over
And you
with
know what?
emotional and mental issues.
there's gotta be something too where you can kick them out the community. I'm sorry, y'all, but there's gotta be something that if you break so many rules or if you break this type of rule, you get kicked out the community. Because that's what back in the day when we was in Africa, if you was an evil person or if you did bad things, we would banish you to the evil forest, or we would just make you leave and you could not come back because you would bring your evil energy onto the rest of the community. So it's got to be something in the community where you can get rid of these people who are evil and who are sick. Okay? Because you can't have evil, sick, twisted people in your community. You cannot. Okay. And then Crazy, the guy said, More Fortune said the problem with the smart homes is that if you get behind on your rent or your mortgage, they can lock you digitally out of your home.
Yeah,
What?
see, that's the type of thing that we don't want. Okay, if we're building communities, a part of your community have to have an industrial complex where you're producing products. Okay, because that's the problem in Africa is that in the black community is that we're consumers. We're
Yes.
such a mindless consumer that we have foreign nationals come in, take our resources, take it out the country, process it, and sell it back to us. Okay, so we have a community. The community model has to be set up in a way to where everyone that's inside that community will own their home. Within
Yep.
a 5, a 6, a 7 year period, because we're producing products that and we're exporting it or we're selling it within the country. So that was
Mm-hmm.
one of the that was one of the ideas of behind our economic community. We would, before we even break ground on actually building houses, we would create an industrial complex, and we would invest in machinery where
Some
we
type of
can
this. Yeah, to
harvest
get money.
agricultural
Yeah, you're right. That's a good idea.
potatoes,
Hmm.
onions, fish,
Yeah.
tomatoes, all of this stuff that's being wasted. We would have trucks and we would go around to these different farmers and say, hey, listen, let us take this and let us process it. So now, before by the time we build our clubhouse and our model homes, we're generating some type of income. So now when we build houses, not only do you have house, now every week you have groceries that's coming from our own industrial complex within our community. You have jobs. You can walk to your job to produce this agriculture, these products. And then
Okay.
we have a state of the art business center where
Oh.
we can really participate in the world economy through different you know uh, platforms, dealing in import export,
Mm-hmm.
and financial services.
Yeah. Now listen to what Jacque
We're building
said.
technology. You
He
understand? And we
said,
investing in that. We creating apps, and we're encouraging our young people to create apps and create technology and things that run the world, all from our community. Now we don't have to worry about if someone can get a job in Africa and pay their rent because we're making
"Oh,
our own
Jackie,
job.
okay. Oh, Jackie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jackie. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, Jackie. Okay, Jackie said his land is paying for itself. He
Jackie
said he
is.
has jackfruit trees, he has
Uh-huh.
vegetables, and when
Yep.
he's in Gambia, he sends them to market. And he says he's married to a Gambian. See, your
Yes.
experience when you married to, now listen, y'all, Gambians and bumpsters are two different things. Okay. So when we say Gambian, we're not talking about the bumpsters. Okay. Most of the bumpsters are not Gambians, and real Gambians are not bumpsters. Okay. So we talk about just normal Gambian people. Okay. So that's why Jackie's experience is different. Okay. So
You know
it's your
what? And I'll
experience,
tell
and
you this.
Quasi's experience is different. My experience is different. Your experience is going to be different. Okay. So you got to understand that.
And there's corruption at all the way at the top. We already know Africa's corrupt, and like I said, I mean, if you're there by yourself, you don't stand a chance.
No, you
We have
don't.
people, we had people that came in and they were just so excited to be in the country that they paid 3 and 4 times the amount on business
Mm-hmm.
establishments, homes, vehicles, like because they came over and a lot of people wanted to get into the spotlight. They wanted to get in the space that they did not deserve to be in that space. You understand? You had people who were there who had laid a foundation so that when the cameras came around, two 2 weeks after I left out of my house, I stayed in my house for 2.5 years. All right. I was married to
Mm-hmm.
my first wife there. I had my children there. But the whole time I was allowing Gambians to come into my house, I had the downstairs set up with 8 computers. So I would do classes, they would come in, and I was teaching them organization, and we were developing websites, databases, all the stuff that I gave over portions of those intellectual properties to Blacks and Art Kathy. You know, when we were building those things, I was telling them at the time, I said, I don't know where it's going to come from,
Oh, that's sweet.
but we're sitting here and we're getting prepared for a time to host thousands of people that's going to come from the diaspora.
Yep.
At that time, nobody was coming over there. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
This was in 2018, 2017. And
Yep.
then when I decided to step out my house, within 3 weeks, I ran into the largest YouTuber that was there. Not because, you know, uh, I was someone that was a scammer or I was someone that didn't have any skill sets. I was the business manager. Okay. I ran into that person and I got the status and I got known for who I was because of the business that I was doing. I wasn't sitting down holding my hands. We were doing a lot of things and building the website, building the databases. I was responsible for talking to all the people. Before Art Kathy, I was staying up to 3 o'clock in the morning, talking to people,
Oh.
talking to people, talking to people. When I
Wait a
got with
minute,
Art
Quasi.
said, hey, I started getting paid to talk to people. I
Yeah.
was just
What
doing it for free, trying to encourage people, hey, come over, let's do it. Let's do this thing.
he
When I
wants
was
to
with
know,
Black,
Quasi,
and we
this is
weren't getting
interesting.
paid.
Jackie said the last time he went to the Gambia, he didn't see any Americans. He wanted to know where are you, where do you live at, in the Gambia. But what I thought was interesting is that he didn't see any Americans. The first time went, I seen lots and lots and lots of Americans. It was just a whole bunch of them, and I was like, I ain't coming back here. It's too many Americans over here. The second time I went, I didn't see that many. The third time I went, I didn't see any.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, a lot of people, as we saw, a lot of people that should have been laying the foundation for other people to come, you
Yep.
know, all of that got ruined and it just turned off a lot of people. And the ones that was there, they couldn't sustain, because we go
Mm-mm.
into these countries trying to do businesses that aren't viable businesses. We can't go into a country and open up a restaurant, open up a secondhand store, open up a little a market. No, we have to produce, offset the imports coming into the country. So we have to
Mm-hmm.
produce the stuff that's going into the market. The mangoes grow everywhere in the Gambia, and they're importing mango juice. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
I don't
as a
understand
community
none
we
of
should
that.
came together and
That's
say, hey,
crazy to me.
I was I know a guy. He has a big water for bottled water processing plant. It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing happening there. You understand what I'm saying? As a
Yeah.
community, we can take all of these resources and say, hey, listen, as a community, we're gonna produce the mango juice. We're gonna produce the baobab juice, or we're gonna produce a number of food items that could be produced from agricultural waste. Fish is spoiling by metric tons every year of food is being spoiled because they don't have simple machinery to process it. We don't have to go in and build a IT company. All we have to do is, buy machinery, canning machinery, drying machinery, refrigeration, to a degree. I mean, most of the stuff could be dried, and that's the type of thing that we should be doing as a community. Focusing on transportation, focusing on, healthcare,
Yeah, that would be
telecommunications,
nice.
those type of
Yeah.
investments that as a community. But if we got everybody and we're all dispersed and we're all trying to do our things, we got people running up to us with all types of ideas. Let's do this business. Let's do a little chicken coop. Let's do a little, a taxi business. Let's do, let's get a little secondhand shop. Let's set up a restaurant. Those things aren't going to work. They're not sustainable.
No. Mm-mm. You're gonna spend so much money. But look, Quasi, I have to get up out of here. I gotta get on up at 5:30.
Yeah.
But I just want to say before I get off here, that these women passing away in Gambia, this is not normal. And until we come together as a people and stand up and say, you are not gonna just throw us away like trash, this is gonna continue to happen. This is going to continue to happen. And until we decide we're going to move as a community in Africa, we're not going to be safe in Africa. And again, this is
That's
going to
right.
continue to happen. So I
Right.
love all y'all. I want y'all to stay safe. And I got to go, y'all, because I'm sleepy and I'm tired.
All right. Thank you. And I'm
But
going to
thank you.
conclude.
No, thank you, Quasi, for having me, for letting me come on. Thank you so much. And thank you for
No,
coming
thank
to
you
talk
for
to us.
encouraging me to come on because like I said, I haven't been up here, and I've been so busy doing other things. I haven't even had the desire to come up here because
I know.
our people. I mean, we just don't get it. We just don't want to get it, and we're just so commercialized that we'll go right into the belly of the beast and be devoured. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
exactly. And that's what we're doing. Wow. That's
mhm.
exactly what we're doing. All
All
right. So
right.
I will be in touch and I love you and I will talk to you later.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Bye bye.
On that note, as Sister Kiki shared, let's not let our sisters, uh, their passings be overlooked, and let's use our minds, let's use our collective resources to to mobilize, those the small percentage of us that see a need for us to stick together and to come together. you know it's just a matter of being organized and try to stay away from those people out there that don't have anything for you. I've always told you guys, a lot of the people that wanted to come on and wanted to jump in the fray and jump into the drama, they were, yeah, I'm in the US forth. But a lot of people that were coming on and making videos and things like that, these were just bums. People don't have any life. People that were, a lot of them just fizzled out because there's no money on YouTube. You know, Not like they thought when we were when we were doing our thing, we were dealing in major business. We were dealing in major investment. Through our program that we had. We weren't just trying to make money off YouTube. We never asked for donations from people. We never asked anyone to send anything in. It was just cool, hard work and effort that we put into the foundation for all the hundreds of people that were looking to come over. And do not be discouraged. That was just, you know, uh, those distractors were just in place to they cross the bridge and they try to burn the bridge down so you won't get over there. However, the bridge is still alive. Mass Kwesi, Gohar, Gambia, peace, rest in peace to our lost ones and the people that we've lost here in America through the violence that was put upon our ancestors through the Middle Passage, all the way up to today to the violence that is put out there on us against each other. I watched it. People are shooting and killing each other all the time here. It's just horrible. I saw a video of today. This guy shot another brother 13 times because we have so much pain, man. We have so much hurt. Well, my email address is kwesiboyd@yahoo.com. That's kwesiboyd@yahoo.com. You can send me an email. I can communicate with you by that way. I have a number. My number is 203-307-5668. We can kind of talk and we can network. But like I said, I'm already I'm situated over there, and my network is really small now, and I'm focusing on doing some things in multiple countries. We can have, if anything, what have taken place in the past has only made me a lot more smarter and a lot more wiser. So I'm gonna end this live on that note. Peace, family.